see the clap on the other ones.
Nobody does. I edit that out. That is part of the editing that I do, is that. That's the only editing that I do. But if you don't have the headphones on, you can't hear the music.
Oh.
Then you'd be missing out.
There you go.
Right. Real Estate for Real. I'm Eric Pettigo. Very special guest today, Dominic Campo, in with me. This is groundbreaking, buddy. Just so you know, you are the first non-real estate group agent to be on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, 40-some episodes in.
And I'm the first.
You're the first.
There we go.
I
always like to be the first.
Yeah. Well, if you ain't first, you're last. I've had lenders on. I've had an inspector on. I've had an appraiser on. So I'm getting other people around the business too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm talking to realtors, and we're talking about real estate. So
yeah.
I called you up a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Asked if you wanted to come on.
Yeah.
And no pushback at all.
No, none. I like doing these things. I like to be involved in, especially local industry things.
Yeah.
I like to be there, be on the ground floor.
Absolutely, man. That's so cool. And you would be surprised how much pushback I get and convincing I have to do of people to come do this for whatever reason.
What is it? There's a saying that at a funeral, more people would rather be in the casket than the one giving the eulogy.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard that, but that's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving a eulogy sucks at a funeral. I hate doing that. But that's how we start off on a good, fun, positive note.
Usually.
I suppose. But so you've heard a few of these, you said.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so that's cool. Before I called you, did you know that I was doing this?
I did. I'm a Facebooker. I'm one of the kids.
Yeah.
And so I saw, I think I've seen like screenshots. I might have clicked on one or two.
All right.
And listened to snippets. But I only listened to a full one after you called me. Make sure I did my homework.
I got you.
Make sure it wasn't going to be a gotcha or anything.
Dominic Campo is prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Gotcha. Dude, if that's what I was doing, was getting realtors on here just to get them. That'd be funny. And I would have been shut down a long time ago.
Probably.
I don't think they would grant me the use of this space if I was just getting all the other realtors. But no, that's really cool. I wasn't sure who my audience was going to be for this. I knew I wanted to do a real estate podcast, and I assumed that realtors would probably like it. I wanted it to appeal to everybody because everybody kind of has interest in real estate. But it's like 95% realtors who listen to this and listen every week.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
And realtors are nosy people.
Yeah, right.
We want to know, especially about our peers, our local peers. They want to know.
And I think that is what is at the heart of it all. And it's been a useful tool for us all kind of getting to know each other a little bit better. I mean, because I'm 12 years in the business. I've done multiple deals with you, right? But
yeah,
it's like we've never gone out to lunch. We never had conversations that went further than real estate.
No. I stay up late at night.
Where's Eric?
I tell my wife, when's Eric going to call me and go to lunch? And the calls never came.
They all went to your dad. I apologize. I get confused sometimes. Your names are awfully similar. And that's kind of the cool thing about this. And so all of these have been with other real estate group agents. And you're the first one outside of the real estate group. But our industry is kind of unique in a sense that the people that we work with at our own office, we are in direct competition with, the same as agents from all the other offices in town. But at the same time, we are kind of co-workers with all of the agents, not only at our office, but at other offices in town. Like, it's a really unique business that
this is the only industry that's like that. And
yeah.
As you can tell by the buyer agency and the lawsuits, the rest of the country doesn't even know what to do with how unique we are.
Yeah.
Exactly that. We are in competition, but we're also at the same time friends and coworkers.
Yeah.
It butts heads at a lot of times.
It's crazy, man. And I've found a lot of agents don't know what to do with the buyer agency agreements yet either. We're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there.
It's, we can get into that. We got some time, but your name, obviously, kind of synonymous with real estate. Your family has, your own brokerage. So what we always do on here is kind of give the backstory. So you got into real estate how, or did you have a choice?
Well, I wasn't forced into here by any means. That's what they tell me to say.
Sure. Yeah, right.
No, I am a third generation realtor, but that third generation, it's kind of broke up quite a bit.
Hold on, you're third generation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's technically been a Campo selling real estate in Springfield since it's almost been 100 years. We have a license in our office. It's all eaten up with moths and everything else, but it's from 1926.
Really?
And that's not even the third generation. I don't even know who that guy was. But his name was Frank Campo, and he was a broker on Livingston Street in Springfield. But my grandmother was licensed in the 1970s under Phil Gibbons.
Okay.
And then my dad got licensed in the late 90s.
All right.
But my own individual story, we'll start after college. So I went to Eastern Illinois University.
Oh, it's a good time.
Oh, it's a great time.
I spent a lot of time at Eastern. I had a lot of friends that went there. I spent a lot of time at Eastern.
Oh, Eastern's a great time.
Yeah.
And probably too much fun.
Uh-huh.
So I spent a little bit more times than 4 years there. It might have been like a 5 or 6 year track. Who's counting?
They're called doctors. Yeah.
But I graduated in 2014. Towards the end of that, though, I woke up and I was like, I was graduating with advertising degree and corporate communication degree.
Okay.
Had no idea what I wanted to do with that. Not much thought was given. It was kind of, I didn't want to go the business route, mainly because of the math. Realtors can't do math. I fell into the right profession.
Whoa. We got to do a lot of math on the test to get licensed.
Oh, yeah. We all got to know how that acre is.
That is a well-guarded secret, man. Yeah. None of us know how to do math.
No. It's not a great secret. But so towards the end of my college career, I was like, I got to figure out what's going on here. I had been watching my dad my entire life.
Sure.
Still was not my first choice. I interviewed with Philip Morris. I interviewed with State Farm. And I was like, I just don't know. And so probably the last month of college, I woke up one day. I was like, I got to do this. Like, until I figure out something better, like I gotta just do this. And so I graduated in May. I self-taught for my license. I was licensed in June, and I did not pass the first time.
A not first timer.
Not first timer.
There's a theme on this.
Yep.
It's a lot of people didn't pass.
A lot of people.
First time.
Went back 2 days later, and I passed.
Got it. Okay.
I figured out what I did wrong, and I went back and I passed.
So you started studying in May?
Yep, and licensed in June.
In June? Mm-hmm. January, February, March, April, May, June.
So 2 months later.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 months later. So it was fast.
That's super fast,
man.
You locked in.
I locked in. I treated it like a job because, again, I had no job. I had just graduated college. My dad had our office in Pawnee.
Sure.
And I just sat in the back. I sat in an office that would soon become mine, and I studied like it was my job, and it was.
And then it became your job.
Yeah.
Soon. Yeah.
And fast forward. I don't know. It's 2025. I guess I've been licensed 11 years.
Okay.
Here I am.
So you got your license in 2014?
Yep.
Like what? Okay, in June of 2014. Okay, because my official start was like January of 2014. I passed the test in November of 13, interviewed at a few places, and then talked to Busher.
Yeah.
And decided to come here, and it was like December, and he's like, next week's like Christmas. You're not selling anything. You might as well just come start January 1st, make 20. So we started same year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Very cool.
Nice.
I had no idea.
No. But
just assumed you'd been in the business longer.
No.
I think it's the name.
Sometimes it feels like it's been probably the same for you.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a week, and sometimes I wake up and I'm like, it's been 100 years.
Yeah.
I'm old.
And neither of us had gray in our beards when we started doing this.
I didn't, but we had the same.
We matched. Dude.
Yeah. I guess it happens on year 11. You're just like, eh.
Oh, this happened way before year 11.
This is every bad deal I've ever had.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. But, okay. So that's very cool. My mind kind of locked in on this, Frank Campo from 100. So do we know that that's part of your family, or is it a crazy coincidence that there was a Campo?
No, we're all related.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I should probably do some more research on that.
You have to, man.
That's
but fascinating.
Yeah. And I've had the license hanging in our office. I can't even remember where I got the license.
Right.
In a stack of things. But yeah, it is. It's a good reminder that this is somewhat in my blood.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's all the way.
Yeah. On those days, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, because we all have that thought at one point or another.
It's another well-guarded secret.
You look at that license or your grandma's license, or you look at my dad, and I'm like, you know what? If they can keep going, I can keep going another day.
It'll get you, dude. My family business is the sod and landscape business, and so my grandpa was, you know what I mean. So I was third generation when I was helping run that before I got into real estate, and the physical stress from that job was wearing on me. Yeah. And my body was falling apart, and I'm like 30 years old, and my body is breaking down because this is me all day, every day. Just, so I get into real estate, and helpful for my body.
Yeah.
But man, I never experienced like real mental stress in my life until I got into this, like real mental stress, to where it's like, oh man, I can't sleep some of these nights, and that's when you're like, should I keep doing this? Yeah. Like that. And it's a very real thing. And I hope we all experience that. And it's not just you and me, or these two graybeards sitting here.
Yeah. If a younger agent, they may not experience the first year, but if you don't experience it, some sort of mental anguish, it means that you're probably not caring about your deals enough. You got to put your whole heart into that. You got to care for your buyers and your sellers, almost to the point of probably unhealthy, but
certainly unhealthy.
These may people that you may never talk to them again, but for that 30, 90 days that you're with them, they should be like your family, because they're trusting you with the biggest, or maybe one of the biggest transactions of their lives. You're just a speck, they're just a speck on our radar, but we should still treat them with immense respect during that time.
Yeah.
And that is mentally wearing.
Yeah. And you're a huge part of that whole deal for them. Like they'll always remember. I have clients that, I'd helped years and years ago, and then they'll be like, oh, you remember when we were looking at that one house and you were like, oh, you said this? I'm like, not really. Yeah, but it's not, it's just because it's so much. It's so much. I go through a lot of houses. I say a lot of things, but that's awesome that stuck with you, So, and you're right. It can borderline unhealthy to a point where sometimes I have to tell myself, like, yes, I'm compassionate. I want to make this good for my clients, but this is not, I'm not getting hit with this repair addendum. Mm-hmm. These are not repairs that I need to make. I'm giving bad news, but it's not coming to me, but you feel it that way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to remind yourself, I didn't just get lowballed on my house. This is, and it's tough, man, because you make these connections with people, and you go through it with them.
Yeah.
And if you're not going through it with them, then probably not the job.
I think a lot of agents, and I struggle with it all the time. I think every agent struggles with it at one point or another, taking ourselves out of the transaction and not taking it personal.
Sure.
Because like you said about a lowball offer, sometimes it feels like a personal insult because you were the person that gave him that list price.
Sure.
So when it comes in 20,000 under, it feels like they attacked you, and you can't feel that way, And we all work on it.
Yeah, yeah. We're all works in progress here. So you do need to do more research because I want to know more about the 100 years ago. So, but your grandma was in real estate in the 70s.
Yep. So Phil Gibbons.
Because I've never heard the name Phil Gibbons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Heck, his sign was still out on South Grand just like a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, he's still alive. I think he's in his 90s. Oh. I have a client right now that says, "Yeah, I talked to Phil Gibbons the other day, and I think he might even still be in the same assisted living as my grandma." But she got into real estate because she wanted to pay for her oldest son's college.
Okay.
And in the 70s, she had 7 children here in Springfield. It still wasn't super popular for women to go out and work. And
you're right.
So, but she went to work for Phil Gibbons, and she loves to talk real estate even to this day. She's 94, and he would take her to a neighborhood and say, "Okay, just start knocking on doors."
Yeah,
and that's what she did. She put her oldest son through college, selling real estate.
Just knocking on doors.
I'm sure other ways, but
door to door salespeople. That was really common though back then.
Oh yeah,
like that was a thing. So
oh yeah, you would buy a vacuum cleaner, somebody knocks on your door.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So was she in Pawnee?
No, she was in Springfield.
Okay.
My dad only moved to Pawnee. Everybody thinks of us as Pawnee Realtors or from Pawnee.
And that's what I want to know. Like, where does that connection come from? When did that happen?
My dad actually grew up in Lake Town.
Really?
And all of his family, we're all from Lake. Or he was born and raised in Lake Town, and then probably somewhere he lived all over Springfield. I think like 1985, 1990, right around the time I was born.
Right.
Giving away my age there.
I mean, you said you graduated college 2014 or 2013, so
yeah,
you're good. People can. But the good news is, realtors,
nobody cares.
Bad at math.
Yeah, it's 35 years old, and so he went to work out at the Kincaid Power Plant.
Okay,
it's a coal power plant out there, and he was in purchasing out there for.
Is that the one right off? Is that what that is right off of? Yeah, right when you're going
like to Taylorville.
Towards Taylorville? Okay, yeah.
So he went out and worked out there in purchasing, and then he got into rental property a little before that, a little after that, but he started buying and buying and buying and buying, and got his real estate license. Like the same path as a lot of investors. They were tired of having to call a realtor. So they said, well, I'll just go get my own real estate license. He went and got his real estate license, started working for Gail Chevalier. Who's still in business in Pawnee.
Oh, I just had a deal with Gail. I mean, kind of in a way. Yeah, we
co-did something.
Yeah, we co-did something, but yeah. Gail's still going, man.
Yeah, she's still there, and went to work for her for a few years, and then just decided, you know what, I can do this on my own. And I think it was 2001, opened up Campo Realty.
Okay.
And then, we just kind of progress as we go.
That's a crazy move, I think.
Mm-hmm. But back then, we weren't in the team atmosphere. There was, and he's always been in the mindset, same as I, we don't want to work for anybody else.
Sure.
We're very independent people. Even him and I aren't on teams. We like our independence.
Sure. Yeah. I can relate, man, because when I started here, it was, there were some teams. Like Cody and I talked about this quite a bit, the team structure and how it's gotten more and more prevalent. But when I started, there were plenty of teams. There were plenty of options. But I never wanted that. I'm very much independent. I want to do this on my own. I mean, to the point where it was almost like a detriment, where I didn't even really want to talk to other agents about how they do their job. I wanted to do it my own way, everything. You know what I mean? I just, I wanted to know what the contract said and meant, but I didn't want to know what to say to clients. Yeah. I wanted to figure that out. You know what I mean? Like hey, what works for you? When you sit down, I never wanted any sort of anything. I just wanted a place to work.
Yep.
Basically. So I can relate to that. now after being in it for this long, I'm like, I think I'm going to build a team because, for one, my son's licensed, and two, I want to expand even bigger than that. I want some support. I want something bigger that I can, I guess you guys have your own. Yeah. I mean, in a way, having your own brokerage there.
Yeah.
You have a team. It's just your own office.
Yep.
Your own brokerage. So
yeah. And going back to learning what to say and how to do it. And so for you and Jace, right?
Yeah, Jace. Yeah.
When I first got licensed, and even like when I was getting my license, I would just sit in my dad's car and I would go with him anywhere he went.
Sure.
It was like a shadow. And I started picking up on what he would say, his listing presentations, his sales presentations, anything that he would say. It starts to, just kind of like osmosis, just kind of starts to work into your mind.
Yeah.
And even to this day, I still use his mannerisms. I still say what he says.
Really?
Because it's a proven. And so, whether you're asking another agent or you have a mentor, find that person that, and I'm sure, you are for Jace. He's going to be like a little Eric here soon. And he's going to say, for better or worse, what you say.
Yeah. Hopefully for better. And that's kind of the thing is, so the first open house he picked up from somebody, I went with him, but he didn't want me to be there as an agent. He just wanted me to be there. And so I was kind of acting like I was, these blinds. All right. I was just kind of
that creepy guy. That's staring
I was super creepy. I just creeped everybody out. But then afterwards he's like, never mind. I don't want you there anymore. It makes me nervous. I just want to go do this on my own. And so, I mean, to his credit, but he's present for a lot of my phone conversations. And that's, so he kind of sees how, and I don't want him, because I don't have like a script that I follow. Yeah. I don't have certain things that I say always, when I'm going through the contract. Yes, I'm like a robot when I'm going through a contract with people, because I hit the same points every time, so everybody knows what they're signing. And I know you didn't tell me that. I say, yes, I did tell you that, because I've told hundreds of people that before you, and I told you that too.
You just don't remember.
You don't remember, but I promise I did, because I always do. But if in just general conversation, man, I just, like the podcast. I just, whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah.
So, but it's not what you say. I don't think it's kind of how you talk to people. And with our clients, a lot of times it's like, how do you get them to get on board with whatever? And it's, you can't make them feel like they're, you're working against them. That's the biggest thing. And sometimes it takes a reminder, hey, we're on your team here. Just so you know, I'm on your side. I'm with you. I'm just trying to find the path of least resistance for you, for me, for everybody.
Yeah.
And so if it means you got to give a little, you got to look big picture, separate your emotions, and because it's the emotional part of it. People get mad, and it clouds their judgment.
Yeah. I always tell people, just take a few minutes.
Yeah.
Read through that repair addendum again. Read through that offer again, and then call me.
Yeah.
Read through it twice, then call me.
Right.
Because you're going to be a lot less pissed than you are right this
Yes.
second. Maybe you are. Maybe you're going to get more pissed. I don't know.
Maybe. Sleep on it. And sometimes the next day they call you back and they're like, you know what? I thought about this, and this is what I want you to tell them. Like, okay, no.
Does this buyer understand?
Yeah. How about just give me their number? No. Absolutely not.
No,
yeah, we're not doing that.
That's not a good idea.
No. So what's funny about this business, what's interesting is, I talked to you about coming on the podcast a few weeks ago. Not long after that at all, I wrote an offer on a listing you had. Mm-hmm. And so I think I called you. I said, hey, man, what's the scoop on this one in Pawnee? And stupid question, because you're like, which one? Of course. My bad. Right. So I told you, got a deal together. You and I have got a deal going on right now. Literally yesterday, I sent a repair addendum over to you. But I remember when we were going to write the offer, I said, and I loved this, and this is what you want to hear agent to agent. I said, they're FHA. You think that'll be all right? You remember what you said?
usually I'll say we're going to do whatever it takes to make it
Yeah,
right.
you said if it's not all right, it'll be we'll make it all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you love to hear. It's, can they do so? Oh, I don't know. Or they're not, it's sometimes as agents, we immediately do this, right? And that's the whole circling back to what we were talking about earlier, different offices, but we're still kind of coworkers in this. So we can meet everything like this, or we can say, hey, we'll work through it. We'll make this work.
And you always got to come from a place of honesty as well.
Sure.
In that case, I knew that we needed to sell this house. We're going to do whatever we can here.
Yeah.
Now, if you call me and I know for a fact, not even so much the sellers, but that house ain't going FHA no matter what I do.
That's
I'm
totally
going to tell you still.
Right.
I'm going to say, you might as well just tear this house down.
Yeah, it's not built in 1920. It's not, so is something going to pop up? Man, probably, but
you'll call a lot of agents and they'll say, well, maybe, I don't know. I never really thought about it. And you get there, it's like 16 broken windows. The furnace is stolen. Yeah. The copper water pipes are gone. You're like, what do you mean? Like, what's the negotiation on this?
Yeah. And then you get some where the house is fine, but they just don't want to deal with it. And they go, I don't know. Can they go conventional?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the problem? I don't like problems at all. So could they just go? And, we got to work with FHA buyers. We got to work with VA buyers and rural development buyers when.
But that comes back, we've been licensed for 11 or 12 years. We were from a time where you maybe only got an RD buyer or an FHA buyer. You had to work them.
Sure.
Now, somebody that's been licensed in the last 5 years, they don't know what it's like to work a short sale with an RD buyer. That's miserable.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, you're right. That you can like pick and choose now. Buyers. We'd rather not.
We're only taking cash.
Yeah. It's like, no, you don't understand. You've never been on the market for 180 days.
Prior to the pandemic in Sangamon County, the average days on market was 115.
Right.
We forget that very quickly.
So quickly.
And I think right now it's like 8. And that's only because we're holding offers for 5 days.
I think average, is a little under a month. I think we just went over this last week. Yeah. But there's still, there's still houses are going like, and it's the ones that need a bunch of work, that people overpriced, that are sitting on the market forever, that are just kind of dragging that number out. But in a general sense, decent house hits the market. It's not a week before it's gone, tops.
No. And when you get into certain zip codes in Springfield, that number plummets.
Yep, absolutely.
You get over here on the west side, and it's probably 4 days.
Yeah.
You get over on different sides, it does creep up.
Yeah. And that 4 days is only 4 days because they allowed showings through the weekend. Yeah. It could have been 0 or 1 very easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's, we look at, that one, when I'm going through console, this one took 3 days to sell. No, it didn't. It did, but it didn't. They were just allowing showings. You see that number, how it's $25,000 over the asking price? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they were.
And you got to really look at, was it full notice of exception? Because that still counts your days on market. Coming soon doesn't count days on market, but certain listing protocols are, so that 20 days looks different.
Yeah.
I could go on Zillow and one house will say 20 days. You go on the MLS because Zillow doesn't count that. The MLS doesn't count coming soon, but Zillow does.
Right.
It's really only 3 days. So it's so confusing.
Yeah. No, thanks to Zillow for always making things easier for us. And what we just talked about today, because every Wednesday we have meetings here at the office. We call it Coffee and Questions every Wednesday morning from 10 to 11. And open to any agent who wants to, come in there, and we just talk about, we have certain subjects. But so there's a new, and I already forget what it's called because it's a long and cumbersome name. But it's like the full notice of exception, except, you know what I'm talking about? There it is. Delayed marketing. Yeah. So you're up on it, right? So for anybody listening who maybe doesn't know, do you know what the actual form is called in its entirety? It's something about delayed marketing. I didn't mean to. Gotcha. There we go. I did it.
You did get me on this one. No. My forms days I'm retired from the forms committee.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
That's where these gray hairs came from. I know it's delayed marketing, but what our specific term is, no, it's a nationwide law. It's not just us. It's a nationwide thing.
Okay. But what it is, essentially, for people who don't know, it's like the full notice of exception or the office exclusive, or the same type of thing, but it just goes out to all the agents in the area. So it's on the MLS,
but not on Zillow.
Yeah. So it doesn't pick up on the IDX feed and go out to all of the feeder sites, the Homes and Realtor and Zillow.
Yeah.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't post about it on social media.
You cannot. It's treated the same as like a full notice, except that every agent has access to it.
Yes.
It can be shown.
Yeah.
But it is not distributed through the IDX feeds. The problem being is that some IDX providers or places where the IDX goes has now said that if you do this, we will not put it on our site at any point. So if you change it during that.
So Zillow, right?
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if there's more, but Zillow specifically has said, if you go a week into that delayed marketing and you're like, well, no, I want it on your site. Zillow is basically saying, no, you made your decision. You're gonna stick with that.
Huh.
And I'm sure that's gonna be. There's a lot going on a wider scale right this second.
Yeah.
We always forget here in Springfield that houses do sell in other states, even other parts of Illinois, and we always got to look at that as from a macro lens, not so much. It's so easy to just get caught up on, our own specific MLS. We forget that there's a lot of things going on here.
Yes, yeah, on a big national level, but yeah, I mean we're in our bubble here, so this is where we exist. It's where we work. It's the market we know, and it's our whole world. So it's all the other stuff is. Yeah, they need to fall in line with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, what are you talking about? Nobody else.
Yeah. That's we're trying to go over what's the benefit of that.
So the benefit, just it's the same argument that you can have about full notice of exception. You have your seller that's possibly getting a divorce.
Right.
Job relocation is a big one. High net worth individuals just for privacy.
Yep.
And again, this goes to this is a national thing. You got to think about New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, celebrities. They just don't want their house on Zillow. They don't want 6 million people looking at what their bathroom looks like. So there are benefits to it, and for certain people,
100%. And even here in our area, in little old us, we still, you have people who don't necessarily want a bunch of cars driving by slow, or even more because some people have no tact at all, pulling into their driveway, looking in their windows. Like people do that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, this house is for sale. I'll just pull in here and walk around the exterior. You have somebody in their house just, cooking some dinner, and there'd just be someone walking around their yard looking at it. Like, what is this? So I know I've got a listing on the lake pending now. Awesome. But I had a sign out there on the lake, sign up in front. Obviously, it was everywhere, but people were just like coming in off the water and walking up, and my sellers are like, hey, these people, somebody came up to their door, not like, and so I get it from that standpoint to make it, okay, more than likely another agent is going to sell this property when I list it. More than likely. I mean, it's got to be over 90% of the houses you list are just sold by another agent. It's not a buyer you already have, not a sign call. Another agent.
More than likely, yeah.
So
probably more than 90%, really.
Yeah. So this delayed marketing thing is still reaching all of the agents that it would normally.
Yeah.
It's just not going directly to the consumer.
Yeah, so the person that's going to lose out the most
is
that consumer that doesn't have a buyer's agent looking out for them. If they're just doing their own searching, that's the person that's going to lose out the most.
Yeah.
For my buyers, I always put them into collaboration centers.
Yes.
So that would pick that up. But you're just a guy that's kind of maybe looking for a house, hasn't called a realtor, but if the right one came up, I'd move.
Yeah.
He's not going to have any idea.
No.
There'll be a sold sign one day. He's going to be like, crap, I didn't even see that thing go on the market.
Right.
Which happens a lot these days.
Anyway, sure. Yeah. Well, and another thing that struck me today, that since the lawsuit last year and the buyer agency agreements, you have a lot of people out there saying, oh, well, I'm not going to sign one of those. I'm just going to call the listing agent. That way I don't have to agree to be on the hook for any commission ever. Because you remember the narrative was, hey, guess what, guys? Now buyers have to pay their own agent commissions. And that's what's got to happen now. Sellers aren't doing it anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I might be looking at things on a micro level, but surprise. Sellers are still paying buyer agent commissions.
Yeah. I think there's been a couple studies recently that actually, and we're not going to get into specifics here, but they've gone up.
100%, man.
What they thought was going to happen, it almost did the opposite.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, people realize, I need that guy more than I thought I did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And they've gone up because now as buyer's agents, we don't get told what our commission is going to be.
Yeah.
That whatever you signed in your listing agreement does not apply to me as a buyer's agent. So I'm making my offer and I'm asking for what I'm asking for. Mm-hmm. Submit it. Like, well, they only want to pay. Well, did you submit it? Because here's our offer, right? So since that's happened, personally, me as a buyer's agent, I've made quite a bit more in commission than I would have otherwise.
And I tell all agents, because I don't just talk to agents in my office, but I try just through my work with the association, everything else, I try to talk to everybody the exact same.
Sure.
The best piece of advice I got early on in this change was quit calling and asking what the co-op is going to be.
100%, man. I never do.
Quit calling.
Yeah.
And ever since I quit calling, and people still do call, some people still text, and that's fine. But what if the answer is something that you don't want to hear?
Yeah.
What's that going to change?
No. You going to ask for less?
No.
Now you're just going to accept it? What if it's more than what you have in your buyer agency agreement?
Well, that's a whole other issue with the buyer agency agreement.
Sure.
But yeah, you gotta work with your buyer. You gotta agree to something that you are happy with before you even step foot through that door.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have to understand what's going to happen if that answer is no.
Yeah. And I always tell them, I say, hey, here's what I'm getting paid. Mm-hmm. Right? It says in ours, and you guys have your own drafted up?
No, because it's one of those things that yes, the Illinois Realtors one is long,
right?
But I've got it memorized so well, and I go through it so fast, and I'm so efficient in it that I still like it.
Is it like a 6-pager?
I think it's 5. They have shortened it up,
okay.
But it's not as bad as it once was.
We have our own drafted up, and it's 3 pages. I love it, man. It's concise. And we have verbiage in there that says something along the lines of, like a buyer's brokerage will make every attempt to receive compensation from seller's brokerage, mm-hmm. right? And so they know when they're signing that they are agreeing to pay us that, hey, this is only what we can't get from the other side. So if I can't get this full amount from the other side, then you're going to have to kick in a little bit, but more than likely we're going to get it. Yeah. So all that aside, going back to this delayed marketing thing, there are people who, since they read the headlines, have said, well, I'm not paying my own agent, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go directly to the listing agent on each house, and I'm going to go, and I'm sure you've run into this. I've run into this. Everybody I know who's been doing this since and has run into this, where you get a call on a listing and they want to come see and they're like, oh no, I'm just calling people on the side. I'm not trying to sign okay. But now those people that are trying to circumvent the buyer agent system so they won't have to possibly be on the hook, they're not going to see these houses. Mm-mm. So they're out.
Yeah. Now, I think in our own general market, especially with coming soon's way, it's going to be such a small handful of people that do the delayed marketing.
Sure.
Because, I mean, a seller would really have to understand, like, I'm cutting my buyer pool by like 90% here.
Of course.
Most sellers are going to be like, you know what? My kids know I'm getting a divorce. I don't care if the neighbor does.
I mean, you're 100% right. The absolute best way to get the most money for your house as a seller is to let the world know you're selling.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Don't hide it.
No.
Yeah. You want the most money? Let me blow this up to everybody the best I can. That's why I always tell people, I say, listen, your house isn't going to be hiding from anybody when I list it. It's going to find people who didn't even know they were looking for it.
Yeah.
But
look at like Dave Ramsey. You can go look at his house in Tennessee on Zillow. If he doesn't care, why should the guy on Wiggins care? You know?
Right. And you never know. Everybody's got their own stuff. But yeah, for the most part, you're right. It's going to be a very, very, just like there's the full notice of exception. Very, very few people.
Yeah.
It'll be the same way. But I didn't, I was wondering about, because you guys over at Campo, how many agents are even at your office right now?
I think 8 or 9 right now.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
And Nino's full time now.
Nino went full time with us.
Yeah, he and I graduated together.
Shout out to Nino.
Yeah.
Nino retired from the county, and so now he's full time with us.
Yeah, I've known Nino forever.
Have you?
Yeah, we graduated together.
Yeah,
Glenwood
and
High,
he's actually been licensed for 20 years.
I know.
But now he's full time. He's kicking ass. He's into flipping. Got under contract on his first rental, so he's
good deal.
Moving and shaking.
We closed on one earlier this year, man.
Oh yeah,
it was an adventure.
Yeah,
septic issues.
I remember that one.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. These over here, these ones over here are from that one. Ugh, man. But yeah, so with that, you got 8 or 9 agents there. I know when, like, I always wondered about this with like the smaller family brokerages. You know, here we've got when continued education time rolls around every couple of years. Yeah. You know, it's all in-house. We had Barb Kruger for a while, and now Mike O does it, you know. So, like, how do you guys handle, like, who stays out in front of the education stuff? And
so our agents are seasoned. We're not a recruiting brokerage. We're not an education brokerage. We're not taking... We very rarely will take new agents and train them. So we don't like to get into... So all of our people they know when they need their education. They have their education providers that they like to use. They stay on top of it. Every now and then I got to call one up and be like, hey, you know, it's getting close. Or have you done it? And most times like, oh yeah, I finished it back in, February. I'll just send you the thing. But no, they're all so good at what they do that there's just nothing that we have to.
Awesome.
So
low stress.
Yeah. We love our agents. They all have their own specialties. They're just kind of doing their thing.
So is it so you guys based in Pawnee, you obviously do a lot of business there. I mean, you're kind of the hometown brokerage.
Yeah.
But you branch out, man. You guys go all over.
I'd say 90% of our business is in Springfield.
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh yeah. We have agents obviously in Springfield. We have agents in Girard. We have agents in all the surrounding, I don't know where each one of them lives. Most of them live in Springfield.
Gotcha again.
But I'd say everybody thinks that, they're from Pawnee. Yeah, our office is in Pawnee. I love to be a mile away from my house. I can see my office from my house.
So you live in Pawnee too?
I live in Pawnee.
Okay.
A lot of it is because of our rental properties in Pawnee. And we just like to stay there because, I can, be from my office to the real estate group in about 25 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, my kids go to school in Springfield. And so it's easy for us,
Yeah, see, I'm in Glenarm.
Oh, yeah. So I'm only 6 minutes from Glenarm.
It's not far at all. But anywhere I go is like at least 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to Chatham, it's 20 minutes.
Yep.
So for me to get in here to the office, it's supposed to be about 25 minutes, but depending on what I got going on, it'd be 19, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. I can knock a few minutes off, but I like it, man. I like living just for like far enough outside to where I'm not right in the middle of everything, but I'm close enough to, listen to a little bit of a good podcast and get to where I need to go.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I like it. But do you have do most of your agents, like, are there people at your office working, or most people work from home?
No.
Pop into the office when need be?
My dad has an office. I have an office. Nino has an office. We have a workstation for somebody that if they do want to come in, but all of our agents work from home.
Cool.
But we do have full-time administrator for them that can do everything remotely for them. It's always there if they need it. And we don't use SkySlope or anything. We use a full-time administrator.
Really?
Yep. So we tried SkySlope for a little while. I didn't like it. So if I don't like it, I'm not going to make anybody else do it. So now we have somebody full-time that just does, that's all, she does all the paperwork.
So is everything like hard copy and files?
We do keep a couple years of hard copy, but everything's electronic.
Okay.
So
So
you just email,
it's not SkySlope, but the same kind of.
Yeah, you just email Brenda your repair denim, and she puts in the file for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We use SkySlope.
Yeah, SkySlope. Woo. I always say if I won't do it, I'm not going to make anybody else do it. And I didn't do it.
This has been like a goal that I keep setting for myself and failing miserably at is stay on top of SkySlope. Like, I get something, boom, get it in there.
Yeah.
Do it. I don't.
I'm
bad at it.
I told my accountant at the end of last year that I would really work on my QuickBooks. And this was going to be the year that I was going to keep up with QuickBooks. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I haven't opened QuickBooks since January 1st.
I never do either, man. I never do either. I've got it set up QuickBooks like it, because I don't know how you do, but I've got an LLC that collects all my commissions, and then I'm an employee of that, so it runs it through there, pays me my payroll and stuff, but it pays my taxes and like, what do I need to get in there for? I guess to categorize stuff, maybe.
Categorize. I thought I did really good last year, and then I got a really big bill from my accountant. I said, "What's this for?" She goes, "I had to redo everything you did."
Oh.
I said, "Well, maybe I'll just pay that bill again next year."
So this is what it costs? All right.
Okay.
Fair enough. Good to know.
QuickBooks is...
I don't know what I do without
SkySlope
it.
was awful, but QuickBooks is the worst.
Well,
It's horrible.
I don't know how to navigate through there for anything.
No.
I had to go into the accountant's office, and they show me, just click this and click that and click that, and it'll pay your payroll taxes and stuff for you. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I keep telling her, I'm a realtor. I don't know how to do this.
Right. Dude, one of the most, I would say, one of the things that gets talked about the least is the complicated, like, structure of paying taxes for a realtor.
Oh, yeah.
We never talk about it. It's never been talked about on here. And every time I try to go, like, talk to my accountant about it, I feel like I walk out dumber than when I walked in. And not his fault. He's awesome. I just don't understand. Like, what do I do? I don't know what to do, man. Did you pay this and that? What's that mean?
Yeah. I'm
a realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make my wife come with me because she's a math teacher.
So do I, dude. I make my wife come with me too.
And she'll bring her notebook because she's taking notes. And I said, "Did you understand what he said?" She goes, "Nope.
No.
I don't have any idea what we're doing." I said, "Then what?" I thought this guy was supposed to make our lives easier.
We are leading. Yeah, it's totally parallel lives. But we do the same exact. She's like, "Why do I need to go?" And I'm like, "Just another set of ears, please." And then we go and we bring a notebook and we sit there and we talk for an hour. We neither of us write. She might write one thing down, like, I guess maybe I'll write this. I don't know, right? And then we get done. How's it? Good. No, good. Thank you. Shaking. We walk out and we're like, so what do we do now? Just business as usual, I guess. Go try to sell something.
I remember the first year, and I think it was our administrator at the time was like, "Don't forget your quarterly taxes."
Yes.
And I was like, "Quarterly taxes? What?" Because I managed restaurants before that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got to pay 4 times a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm supposed to pay?
Well, I think it's based off what you made last year.
I still don't know.
So this is what this is what makes no sense, and I absolutely hate it. It's the stupidest thing. Based off what you made last year, You make estimated quarterly payments this year.
Yeah.
I don't know who out there has worked in real estate before, but you tell me when you've had back-to-back years that were the same.
Yeah.
Me, man, I'll have a great year followed by a decent year.
Yeah.
And then every now and then I'll have a stinker of a year. And God forbid that stinker of a year comes after a great year.
Oh, yeah.
And then my estimated quarterly payment is going off of last year. And I'm like,
you got to call the accountant and have a really weird card. Like, hey, I'm not making a great amount this year.
Yeah, do I really need to pay this now? And then we'll talk for 15 minutes and hang up and be like,
so do I
pay this?
And this is near and dear to my heart because I picked up my quarterly taxes this morning.
Oh my God, man, I hate quarterly taxes. And then, as you know, you got to pay them as an individual because if you have a if you own anything, like me as the owner of an LLC, I've got to pay individual quarterly. My LLC has to pay quarterly. I don't know where they go or who gets them or I don't know who I send them to.
I know I sent the envelope today. It's pre-marked to the Treasury.
There you go.
Sometimes it's to the Illinois, sometimes it's to the Treasury. So,
dude, we don't talk about that stuff enough. Maybe I need to have an accountant on here.
You do
to help us talk through these.
Nobody would listen to it, but
no, everybody would listen to it, but nobody would learn anything.
Yeah.
It's like, are you a car guy?
Oh yeah, I love cars.
Okay, so you can you get in there and work on cars. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh no! I'm not working on cars. No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
All right, so it's like going to the the mechanic. You're like, hey, my car is doing this, and they get in there. Well, it's the specs on the rotary, Tommy boy. But
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I'm like, you're talking to me like I also work here.
Yeah.
Just talk to me like I'm an idiot who has no idea what it is that you do for a living. But to bring that back around to real estate, my wife keeps me in check because I'll be on the phone with a client and I'll talk to them like they do this. Mm-hmm. And they're doing the same. They do the same thing we do when we talk to our accountant or to our mechanic. And they're going, okay. Yeah. All right. And then we get done and she's just like, hey, they had no idea what you were talking about. Just so you know, you were talking to them like a realtor. You weren't making it, you weren't translating it to common. And so we do the same thing.
Yeah. I catch myself getting into that with buyers or sellers. And I always like to, if I feel myself doing it, I have go-to stories or go-to things to match things up with. I hope not dumbs it down because you're not dumbing it down. You're just making it easier to digest.
Yeah. There has to be a nicer way than dumb it down, but that is exactly what,
Yeah, you're making it easier to digest for them. So hopefully that works. But I don't know.
I mean, it's tough, man, because in a way, we don't draft our contracts. Attorneys draft our contracts. And then,
well, have you ever been on the forms committee?
No.
So the attorney approves our contracts.
Okay.
It's actually your peers that writes the contracts.
Okay.
So if you want to the inspection addendums were the whole forms committee, but specifically if you want to be mad at people, you can be mad at myself, Adam Bugas, and Tracy Shaw.
All right.
So sorry about that, guys. So the option 1, the option 2, they were the brainchild of a couple forms committees ago.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate option 1, option 2.
No, the attorney will look at it and he'll say, you can't do that. Or he'll say, instead of that sentence, change it. Mm-hmm. But those contracts are wrote by your peers.
So they are drafted by other agents, but then an attorney has to look over it and make sure that it
gives it a check mark.
Gives it a check mark.
Yeah.
And then I imagine if need be, says, no, this can't say this. It needs to say this.
Yeah. And it happens a lot less than you would probably think that they step in and change things. But,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough then. I stand corrected. But either way, it is a bunch of it's a lot of kind of legal speak on these contracts. These are legal contracts. So they almost need to be dumbed down to us agents first so that we can understand what it is that we're working with. And then we have to take that understanding and put it out there for our clients and help them understand, like, yeah, we work with these and we see these every day. Yeah. You're going to see this once every, 5 to 10 years maybe, and it's going to change a lot every time you do it. So maybe you bought a house 5 years ago. This is going to look a little bit different because we've made some changes. So there's a couple stages of the dumbing down.
Yeah. One of the things I was president of the association 2 years ago.
I did want to get into that stuff here too. So we still have a little bit of time, but I do want to get into that.
One of the things I wanted to do, because what was happening was we were changing these contracts every month.
Yeah.
It would be one thing. It could be as simple as a sentence, but then you'd have to update your SkySlope. You'd have to update transaction desk. So, and for better or for worse, I know some people weren't fans of it. I said, we're only going to change these forms once a year.
Okay.
We can work on them all year. We're going to work on these contracts all year, all these addendums, all these things. And unless there's an emergency, we're going to release everything at some point in the year.
Yeah.
And make it the same point every year. So that we didn't have to do this. So that's why we're having these forms trainings that you see every year, because that's the brainchild of a whole year's worth of work. So that all of a sudden you didn't open it up and like, I didn't even know that was new in this contract.
Yeah.
I missed that office meeting that they told me about that paragraph. Now we're going to learn about a whole bunch of stuff in a week instead of just randomly changing these contracts, which I think is a better way of doing it.
I 100% agree. I went a few weeks ago to the Docs and Donuts, the car building.
Yeah, the donuts were good.
Decent donuts. Yeah. Not
and
bad.
the forms are amazing. Like, I'm not on the forms committee anymore, but I have huge respect for that committee. I mean, it's painstaking. Those are 2-hour meetings, sometimes twice a month. If you've never been on the forms committee, always apply. It's a very hard committee to get onto. But if you want to see the nuts and bolts of how things work, that's how you do it. If you want to know why something says that in the contract, go to that meeting because you'll find out very quickly.
So I've been on 0 committees ever.
Yeah.
This year, Kim Elliott recruited me. She's taking over as president.
Yep, Kim's a great president.
Yep. And so she recruited me to get involved and do some stuff. I said, okay, you know what?
Yeah. Kim's doing her job good.
Yeah. She said, how come you never have before? And honestly, nobody ever asked.
Yep.
So, okay, I'll do it. And so I'm governmental affairs.
Yeah.
I'm starting that. And the what is it? The affiliates one.
Realtor and Affiliate Committee.
Realtor, yeah, right. So I'm doing those.
Good.
I've signed up for both of those.
Good.
Haven't started anything yet.
Good.
But
yeah, it should be next month.
Yeah, but there was a meeting earlier this month for governmental affairs, but it got canceled. I don't know why.
Governmental affairs is the reason I went so far as I did.
Okay. So how'd you start getting into the, like, when and how, what inspired you? Did your dad give you a little nudge?
No, because even back then he was just kind of barely on the outskirts. We still have an agent that works for us named Christy Debrin.
Okay.
A lot of people know Christy. She's a fantastic person, good realtor. I've known her my entire life. She was going through. She was on the committees. She went through the chair. She was president. So through that, she would always come back. And we're like, So my dad got kind of involved. And as soon as I got my license, I got involved, and I signed up for governmental affairs. I was like, I'll just kind of toe my feet in.
So like, right, you get licensed and you're like, let me in on the governmental part of this?
Yeah. I just thought it sounded cool. I asked my dad, I'm like, what do they do? He's like, I have no idea. I don't know. Just go. And so I signed up and I went, and I'm 24 at the time. And it was like Susan Madison, Ed Mahoney, John Clem, Corky Joyner. I think Jim Fulgenzi might have been in there, Steve Meyer.
So a bunch of rookies like you.
Yeah. And they start the meeting and they're talking. And I was like, I am way out of my league here.
Yeah.
And I spent the next year, I don't think I said 3 words that entire year, but I listened and I realized, wow, these people are really changing things.
Yeah.
They, Susan would be like, well, I'm going to go talk to the mayor. Or Steve would say, hey, I sat in on this meeting with the city and, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I saw that they were really changing things that nobody else knew about. Not that it was a secret, but they were moving property rights. They were helping builders and buyers and sellers throughout Springfield. And they worked with governmental affairs with Illinois Realtors, and they were doing all these things. I was like, I want to do that. Like, how do I do that?
Sure.
So then that started my whole progress through, eventually 10 years later, I went through multiple committees, chaired multiple committees, president, everything like that.
Yeah, you worked your way up the ladder. So started with governmental affairs. Like, so what all have you been a part of? Can you even remember?
I've been governmental
forms,
affairs.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I ever chaired governmental affairs, chaired forums. Obviously, president, vice president, secretary. I think I've almost all of them except like social committee.
Right.
And no, the social committee is a great committee. I'm just not your party person. I don't host great parties. But yeah, and now I've do a few Illinois Realtors committees. And,
Okay.
but it's a great thing to be involved in because you don't know what you don't know. As a realtor, you're like, well, here's this form. I have no idea why this paragraph's in here. I have no idea why they put this blank here in this taxes.
Right.
And I wanted to know. Like, I wanted to be the person that could say, well, we did this because during this time of year, taxes, the assessed value can change, and we don't know. We might need 105%, not 100%.
Ah, okay.
So I wanted to be that person that could answer those questions. And, even our local association, they do so much, and most agents have no idea what they do.
Sure.
They know they're paying their dues, but they don't know about the fundraising aspect for charities. They don't understand RPAC. They don't understand how we are protecting agents.
Yeah.
All
this stuff, I started doing this podcast, and I've discovered all of this stuff through this. And so this is the reason that Kim reached out to me, from doing, she's like, oh, you're good at talking to people. You're good. You need to come get involved.
Yeah.
I had a podcast. You have to look it up, but I had Mike Busher, Michael Nettle, and Nashel Nettle all in here. And we're talking about RPAC stuff that learning about all the stuff that all of these agents are doing kind of behind the scenes to, make life not just easier for us as agents, but more importantly for, the people out there that, whether they be tenants or property owners, however it is, there's a lot going on that most of us never realized or knew. And I'm just starting to learn, like, a whole world is kind of like, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, great. I want to get involved. Absolutely. I want to be a part of this. This is what I do. This is how I provide for my family.
Yeah.
If I can do something extra to make this, what I do, like, a more efficient then by all, absolutely. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm, and I haven't even gone to a meeting yet, but I've learned there's a whole other world out there that makes all this go.
A lot of people just they're in their offices, whether it's this office or another big office or a small office, and they don't realize.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people do know what's going on. Like, I don't want any part of that. And then there's other people that have specific abilities, like your ability to talk. You'd be great, because right now we're kind of done for this year, but we need RPAC funds.
Sure.
We're always going after RPAC funds, and so we need people that can call agents, especially higher producing agents, and tell them, hey, we need your money for this reason. These are the things that this money goes and helps and protects, and these are the laws that we're fighting right now.
Yeah. And ask your tax guy. You might need a big write-off here, maybe at the end.
You can't write it off. Sorry.
Dang it. All right. Well, talk to your tax guy anyway.
Yeah, talk to him anyway. I'm sure you owe taxes for something.
Yeah, you need to check in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that part sucks, but either way, when you find out that it's not just hey, that's more money I have to give. When you find out that I'm investing in something. And I think that's a correction that Mike Busher made when he was on here, because I said, hey, we give him money. He goes, no, you invest.
Yep.
You're investing in this. This is something that benefits all of us. So you're not giving money. You're investing in something that's important for all of us.
You're investing in your business. It's no different than buying leads. You're investing in your security.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, I'm sure Mike talked about it, was, we always go back to this, but during the pandemic, it was your RPAC funds that helped deem us essential.
Right.
If we hadn't fought those legislators and we hadn't had people in the Capitol go to the governor and say, we got to keep selling houses, this is why we're essential, we would have been done. We would, there was whole states, I think Pennsylvania, a couple others, they couldn't sell real estate for months.
That's crazy.
But because we had RPAC and we had those people, we were in the ears of those legislators and governors, and we got that done.
I can't imagine in that time not being able to sell houses.
Yeah.
And especially the rates dropped and
a lot of us made fortunes during that time. It's not always about the money, but fortunes were made during those years.
I mean, good years.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the listing side of it, awesome.
Yeah.
For the buyer's agent side of it, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I can't imagine. But that's a great example though, too. Right. I mean, that was something that contributed to a lot of agents making a lot of money that wouldn't have happened, without the RPAC stuff and advocating for what we do. So, something, when I started learning about all this, something I've brought up at the very, the few interactions I've had is, okay, I'm 11, 12 years in. Why am I just now learning about this? Yeah. Why am I just now learning about all this stuff that's happening kind of behind the scenes? Why do I not know which of my colleagues and peers are out doing this? Because all the names that you say, on this committee is this person, I know these people.
Yeah.
I work with these people. I didn't know they were doing this.
Yeah.
How come?
We've brought together entire task force to try to answer that question. We have sent emails, calls, texts. We send people into the group, into Keller Williams, into RE/MAX, trying to get people to come to functions or events or this. It's a constant battle. And I'm sure anybody that's part of any association or organization, especially a nonprofit, struggles with this, is just getting asses in the seats.
Sure.
To answer your question, I don't know. We've exhausted. Now, hopefully everybody's listening to this. Hopefully you got thousands of listeners that now know.
Hundreds. But still, in our area, I reach a good amount of realtors in our area with this.
Go sign up for committees. If you have any interest in anything, there's a committee for you. If you're interested in politics, there's governmental affairs. If you're interested in forms, there's forms. There's social, there's anything.
Yeah, there was like 13 committees or something. And I was like, wait, like I'd heard of forms and I'd heard of the social committee. Other than that, I hadn't heard of, I had no idea the rest of them existed. And so that's one of the things where I was like, okay, maybe this is something I can at least try to help out with because this, send out emails. We scroll through emails so quick. We're just looking for what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. You might come in, hey, so-and-so's coming to our office today to talk about this. And you're lucky you get a fraction of agents to show up for it. Because why? Because it got sent out on an email that somebody was. So what I was trying to, I said, we've got to do a better job of finding people, even if it's not to sign up for something, just to make them aware.
Yeah.
Hey, here are your colleagues who are working on this, right? Because one of the points I made was, all right, let's say I do have something that I've got an idea, I've got a thought, I've got an issue that I would want to offer up to somebody on the governmental affairs committee.
Yeah.
Assuming that I knew it existed, which I didn't. Yeah. Who would I talk to? I don't know. I don't know who's on that committee. So my thought was we need to make these committees more visible to other agents And it is, I think, with things kind of like this, we need to adapt because people consume through social media and through video engagement.
Yeah.
That's what people do. They hop on, you get on, you're having your coffee in the morning, you're scrolling through Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever. So we need to be there, right?
I completely agree.
So let's get us there. Let's say, hey, guess what? Let's make an introductory video of, hey, here's your forms committee for this year. Yeah, see these faces? You know these people. This is what they're working on. If you got any questions, you have any concern, you have any ideas, anything, call one of them.
Yeah.
You got their number.
I think it's a great idea. After this, I'll tell you exactly who to talk to and make that happen.
Yeah.
And I don't see, well, Kim's going to be Kim right now is president. And I know that she's really pushing for more involvement. We always push for more involvement. Yeah. But Kim especially has got the personality where she can go after that involvement. And I think you could help her with that.
I think that's why she recruited me.
Yeah.
She came on the podcast and that we talked about it a little bit. So, that's my thought on everything because this stuff is hugely important.
It is. Because there's so much that's happening on, I don't know how much, and I don't listen to real estate podcasts. My dad wakes up at 3:00 in the morning and listens to real estate podcasts.
Really?
I wake up.
Does he listen to mine? No.
He does not. I don't think he knows
probably
about
doesn't
it.
know
He'll
about
listen to this one and then he'll start listening to
it. All
it.
right.
Yeah, he'll listen to it.
What's up, Nick? Sorry for texting you on vacation, buddy.
But he'll send me reels all the time, Facebook reels about, his favorite podcasters on real estate. And they always talk about, not their local issues, but national issues. Sure. And there's so much going on the national scale that we are insulated. So everything that happens on the coast, whether it's the West Coast, the East Coast, it does eventually get to us after it's been saturated. We don't really see those, like Florida right now, you can't sell a house in Florida right now.
Crazy.
We don't have that. Even during the 2008 crash, we were still insulated more than Los Angeles or New York.
Yeah.
We still felt it, but not nearly that bad. And we just same as, what's going on with Compass right now and Anywhere and all those. It's not going to, it will affect us, but not to the same as it's going to affect those other big places.
Yeah. I mean, as it works its way inland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Compass, who was a very large brokerage, bought Anywhere.
Yes.
Which owns a lot of brokerages and now has become the biggest brokerage. And there's a whole lot going on with that we do have to pay attention to.
I don't know. I got some repair addendums to work on. I'll try to read up on that. You ready to get out of here, man?
Sure. It's been great.
Yeah. You did a great job.
Yeah, I'm a realtor. I could talk all day.
Yeah, same. It's kind of what, I was like, I'm going to start this. I'll get realtor friends on, and it's a bunch of extroverts, so we can just talk forever. But, man, it's like pulling teeth to get some of these people to show up in here. So
especially the younger agents, going back to like getting involved. Younger agents, I've noticed, even though we're the most, we should be the most outgoing people.
Yeah.
We're becoming less, and to get like an agent in his 20s now on the phone is impossible. I don't know what half their voices sound like.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
It's because it's a new skill for them to learn.
Yeah.
And I know we're going through it with Jace. It's just the art of talking to people.
Yeah. You can't Snapchat a repair addendum.
Yeah. And so it's, we knock them for it. At the same time, we're the ones who provided them with that world.
Yeah.
As the parents, as the generation before, we put electronics and tablets in their hand when they were 3.
Yep.
And now they're 23, and we're going, well, you got that thing in your hand all the time for, and it's like, oh yeah, that's why. It's because I gave it to you when you were just a child because I didn't want to pay a babysitter. My accountant said I couldn't afford a babysitter.
Yeah.
But I could afford a tablet. But no, and it's a big part of this job is just being able to communicate with words. And so that's just a hurdle, because when we started off in the business, man, the hurdles were just getting clients. You know what I mean? Having conversations, sure, but then getting people to sign on to be a client of ours through conversation was one thing.
Yeah.
As a younger agent, getting now a big hurdle is like having conversations.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but having conversations with like people 10, 20, 30 years older than you, because that's who's buying a house, and then they're looking at you like a baby. And then so you got to talk your way through that. So, man, the challenges are tough for these young agents getting in. So kudos to the ones who are actually getting some deals together, because it's not easy. It's not easy for people who've been doing it as long as we have sometimes. So it's tough, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Dominic, man, thanks for coming in. I'm glad we got to do this. Look forward to that closing we got coming up.
Yeah.
That'll be good. All right, have a good rest of your day, brother.
You too.
Real estate for real. Thanks for tuning in. Again, sorry, Nick, for that vacation text.